We're hot off the heels of the Canelo Berlanga card, guys. We're going to break that down for you as well. Also, we got Dubois and Joshua this weekend, Wembley, September 21st. Here we go. So, guys, strap in and thank you for letting us into your ears. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Samp&Chance Boxing. I'm your host, Bobby Sampson, my man with the master plan, Mr. Chance. Michael's Chance, how are you, buddy?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Can't complain, man. The weekend is here. Almost here we are again at that point of the week. We got a great card coming up this weekend in London. Well, I mean, the undercard is okay. You got to be a real boxing fan to appreciate that undercard. It is a good undercard, but you got to be a hardcore fan to appreciate it. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, the casual fan and everyone else is probably going to gear up for the main event, which we'll break down here as we go along. But yeah. But let's get into it, man. Canelo Berlanga. What an interesting night of boxing that was, man. Um, wow, Canelo Berlanga, your thoughts on it right off the bat?
I mean, we did what we knew Canelo was going to do: walk him down, counter him, use his power, stay shelled up, counter him, win a decision. That's pretty much what Canelo does now. You know, not all of his fights, most of his fights, are his decision. He's kind of went to the Floyd Mayweather playbook. Take the fights. He's pretty sure he's going to win. But he is fighting the younger guys, so I'll give him credit on that. But he looks good still. After the fight, he said, "I'm still the best fighter in the world," right?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, hard to argue. I mean, he's definitely one of them.
Well, here's the thing, man.
He looked good.
Yeah, I know he looked good.
So good.
Well, the way I look at it here, Canelo, he landed total of 201 shots, right? 49 of those were bodies, 69 of those were jabs, and 133 were power shots, right? Compared to Berlanga, who only landed 119 shots in this fight, which is very uncommon for the guy. He's known for his output. But I mean, he basically wasn't able to follow his own game plan, in my opinion, because he was just in defensive mode for most of this fight.
Yeah, he's feeling that power.
18 body shots total. 54 total jabs and 65 power shots throughout that whole fight. It's like I said to you, man, I think once you feel those body shots that Canelo throws, you don't have a choice. I mean, you can go out on your shield like he said he was going to, but at that point, you just become defensive, man. You cover up and you can't really put anything out. So, yeah, Canelo was meticulous. He hurt him early. He made him feel it. He got tagged a couple times, but ultimately he just left Berlanga in a defensive shell and he just took his opportunities with him. And that was basically the story of the fight over 12 rounds. Yeah, he knocked him down in the third round. You know, he shook him with a hook. But I mean, other than that, it's, yeah, congratulations, Canelo. But I almost feel it was disappointing because again, he didn't finish the guy. He went the distance. But like you said, man, this is the Floyd playbook now. He's at that age. He's picking the right fights. And you can't complain. He's fought nothing but champions.
Yeah, he's fought some of the best. I think Canelo's being a little more cautious too. Maybe he could have finished him, but he doesn't want to leave himself open to just for that lucky shot that Berlanga or Munguia could get, hurt him, stumble him, and he loses everything. So
yeah,
he's like Mayweather, he's a little more excited than Mayweather, but he's shelling up, he's countering, hitting, walking them down, but not taking too many chances just to guarantee the win. I think is what he's doing now.
No, everything changed after the Bivol fight. His style changed, the way he perceives fights, because before Bivol, he was willing to fight anybody, right? And on a very, very quick note here, we'll talk about this in some detail. I just want to bring it up very, very quickly. After the fight, he goes, I want Bivol. That's all he wants to do now is fight Bivol. He wants to get that back, right? He wants to run that back. Do you think, and we're running out of time here, but do you think that's a shot towards David because he's next in line for the winner of that fight?
Nothing to do with David at all. Canelo's one of the guys who likes to avenge losses or controversial wins. Example, Triple G. He fought him 3 times. He lost. He wants to get that blemish off his record. So nothing to do with David.
But do you think
his ego
push him aside to let Bivol and Canelo go again? But now that Turkey is involved, I don't see that happening. I think Canelo now has to play that waiting game if he wants him.
They don't have to have Turkey involved in it. They can do without him.
Well, but Turkey's a part of DAZN, and DAZN is where Bivol's from. So
yeah, but there's always ways around it.
Let's see.
That's nothing to do with David. Canelo's got ego, which all champions have. He wants to avenge that loss.
Yeah. All right, brother man, let's move on to the next round. Now, in my opinion, I said this to you off the air. We had Noche UFC as well that night, and we had this card going back and forth. Now, take in mind, I've not seen all of Noche because I was focused on boxing. And if you guys go to Instagram, you can see we did a lot of posts there that night, just some, instant reactions and stuff. So go check those out as well. So I said to you, of all the fights of that night, this is probably the best fight of the night. Would you agree?
It was hands down the best fight of the night. It was a war.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Relatively unknown McCumby came hard. He
Yeah,
knocked down Plant.
yeah.
But around the fifth round or so, Plant, I don't know if he
Over.
got his wits together, changed his game plan. He
Yeah.
started backing McCumby down on the ropes. Was it ninth round? They're just firing uppercuts. McCumby was stunned.
No, 100%.
Rock, ref came into what a fight though. Two warriors. These guys actually hate each other. You could see between the rounds they're smack talking and going at it. And by far a super entertaining fight. Two warriors, and Plant put him down, finished the fight.
It was a fun fight through and through. Like, first off, McCumby, what a warrior.
Oh yeah,
a warrior. I don't care what anybody says. Look, let's just look at it this way, okay? 207 shots landed for Plant compared to the 99. So Trevor didn't even get into the triple digits of total shots landed. 99, 45 jabs for Plant compared to that of 13 jabs for McCumby. 162 power shots to the 86. Now, out of those 86, we can say that in the second round where he wobbled him with that left hook, and then he brought him down in the fourth round. Mind you, it was a shot to the arm which stumbled him and brought him down. He complained, Caleb Plant did, but I mean, at the end of it all, it was still a standing 8 count, right? So it was still considered a knockdown. But like you said, after that fifth round started, he started dissecting him, and the shots that this kid was taking, just astronomical. So, it was just shot after shot. And yeah, he just couldn't get off those ropes, right? In the first 4 rounds, those ropes were serving him. He was actually doing okay off the ropes, in my opinion. But that fifth round, Caleb's just started dismantling him and just breaking him down.
You could see after that, it was all
right?
over.
It was all over. But he was still cautious because that guy has power, right? The limited shots that he threw, you knew he has power. Now, I don't know if being under those lights or anything was a factor. I thought it would have been, but it wasn't. It was just a question of a guy having more experience fighting topper echelon level fighters. I mean, if you look at Plant's last few fights, and no disrespect to Trevor McCumby again, this is probably the lowest guy that he's fought in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
In terms of talent and everything. So hats off to, Sweet Pea Man. He did it. I mean, wow. What a fight. And that was hard, man, because the fights after that, even Canelo Berlanga was okay, but it was nothing. Like, you couldn't get that energy back, especially after Lara and Garcia.
Because these two guys hate each other. Like, both guys wanted to knock each other down. Completely different men, the way they live their lives. You got Caleb Plant, who's can be a jerk in public, flamboyant, all the bravado, and McCumby's a humble, quiet, nice guy.
Yeah.
And you put that together, they make a great fight. And
hell of a fight. And it was awesome. It was so good. And you know what really sucked is that followed after it just did not deliver. I mean, the crowd and everything was into Canelo Berlanga, and the fight was okay, but it was a predetermined formula, in my opinion. You knew what to expect and you knew what was going to happen, right? I mean, the only thing that would have made it any difference if Berlanga just didn't give a shit about those body shots and just came out the way he was supposed to come out.
Went at it, yeah.
But I mean, that fight of the Lara fight was just horrible. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't even want to give it a round, but we'll talk about.
Well, to break it down real quick, the second round, Garcia didn't even let a punch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the crowd was booing relentless, and this is coming.
First round, they were booing.
Yeah. Well, you're coming off such an amazing fight, and then you get this, right? And Lara won. He won all 12 rounds, and you can't blame him. He did what he had to do. But Garcia did not show up to fight, man. You could see it in his eyes. You could see it in his body language for a guy that has been clamoring for this fight for 2 years. Sat on his ass, not because he was injured, because he didn't want, he didn't want to fight anyone else except this one. He did not show up, man. I think Garcia needs to hang him up.
I know he did say ring rust, and he didn't think it'd be ring rust. That's part of it. You're also 36. I also question how hard did he actually train for this fight? How much did he want this fight? To me, I know he's got money, but you always want more. Yeah. I think it was a quick payday because he wasn't. You're a former 2-time champion. I know you're trying to become a 3-time champion, 3 different weight classes, and you don't land one punch in the second round. And I
But
don't know, man. It
I
was just
always
a
look
horrible fight.
in boxing, no matter who's fighting, you're never gonna get Hagler and Hearns first round every time. You
No.
never get that, right? Like, and I don't think we ever see that anymore, just because guys are so cautious. But I always believe that first round, you should never have high expectations of a first round of a fight, because that's usually just a feel out process, right? Finding your
Yeah.
range, finding your direction.
And good for Garcia's corner for throwing in the towel, saying they kept saying the first 3 rounds, "Are you okay? Are you okay?"
Are you
And
there?
they called the fight off. So good
Yeah,
for them.
because they knew he wasn't mentally there. He was not there at
He would
all.
have got knocked out,
Yeah,
like out cold. And
yeah,
good on Garcia's training corner trainers to say
yeah. I agree.
fights done. Yeah.
Completely agree. All right, brother man. I tell you what, here we go. Wembley, rehot season. Here we go. Here we go. Joshua Dubois for the IBF title is on the line.
A title that Usyk just gave up, so they're fighting for it.
Well, Usyk
Well,
basically made
Dubois
a
has it, but I
post.
mean they're fighting for it.
Well,
Yeah.
he made a post and saying, "Hey, I'm relinquishing this belt so you guys can fight for it."
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, I love Usyk. I don't care what anybody says, man. I think
He's a good man. Yeah.
he's how can we shit on people that do the right by their people, their family, by society,
Mm-hmm.
right?
He's a
We
great
glor
guy. Nobody can say he's not.
no, but in the world of sports, we seem to glorify, not us per se, but in general, the general consensus is the worse things you do, the more popular you are and the more you're respected.
Because it's entertainment. It's
But,
entertaining.
right? But you know what I mean? It's just like
Yep.
I've never understood that logic. It's like I hate to say it this way, but I saw a movie once where the kid came home and he just graduated university, and the other kid came home and he just got out of jail. The grandma has showed more respect to the kid who just got out of the clink than the kid who just graduated with a master's degree from Harvard.
Well, society's always been fascinated with bad guys, bad boy image. You know what I mean? And people like Usyk, they're boring guys. Usyk a little more boring guys, so they're not going to get the fanfare.
You look at majority of women, they all want to date the bad guy. They all want to sleep with the bad guy. But then once the bad guy's done with you, then they look for the nice guy to settle down with.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely.
Right. So I mean, it's just human
Well,
nature.
we'll use a rock and roll analogy. How many rock stars that are good guys are considered cool? I can name you 100 bad boys that even I do. Everybody considers cool. Can you name really good guys in rock that considered cool? It would have been Dave Grohl up until what he just did. Who
Yeah,
else?
um,
Roger Waters, one of the biggest jerks of all time. Vince Neil, cool guy, but he's done a lot of bad stuff. So who are the good guys?
I'm gonna say Bono, The Edge.
Yeah, but they don't do. They're not. Yeah, they're not.
When
They
I
get
when
kind
I
of
when I
preachy,
say
but
when I say
yeah,
back, they've never beaten anyone up. They've never been arrested. Yeah, they have their views and their opinions, right? But they don't have that side of it. The rampant drug use and all those kind of
yeah. No, they're not drug. They're not a drug band. So there's a
right.
couple like Bono, I
Yeah.
guess you could say. I'm trying to think of something
But
else.
the list is very short. We can agree with that. The list is very short.
Very short. I mean, there's a few, maybe Mick Jagger, but there's not. Well, actually, no, he was pretty wild in his day.
Yeah, he was, but I mean, nothing that no one ever knew about. Everything was transparent with Mick Jagger.
But there's not many. It's basically it's hard. We're scrambling to find.
But like nothing, everything. Look, there's bad guys that cover everything up and try to make excuses for it all. Example, Diddy, right? Right. But then you got guys that just did it in the open. Okay, here's prime example: Yarmer Yager.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite guys of all time because he just gave 0 Fs about it all. There was this one post, some girl took a selfie of herself sleeping with Yager.
Yeah, I seen that in the bed. Yeah.
And then she kind of said, "Hey, if you don't, blah blah blah." So he took the picture and posted it himself.
Yeah, got ahead of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, brother man. But here we are. Let's break down this Joshua Dubois fight that's happening this weekend. I don't think this is a fight that people should be sleeping on. Can be
I'm looking forward to
really, really interesting on both sides of it. Yes, Joshua, and what's the money line on this? Do you have that?
I don't have it with me, but Joshua was a slight favorite. It was like minus 175.
Okay,
the favorite.
Right. So I look at this fight and I look at where both these guys have accomplished getting to this point. Okay, you got two guys that were basically almost put out to pasture. but found a
Yep.
way to come back strong and get back to that top tier again. Right. So both guys deserve where they are. But here's my question to you. Which one has had the harder road back?
Absolutely Dubois. I mean, Josh was just taking tune-up fights. Now he took a risky fight in Nagano because you don't know what you're getting with Nagano. Nagano hits so hard,
Yeah.
but he's not a skilled boxer.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are breaking it down this fight this way, which I don't agree with. I think Josh was going to win, but people are saying, well, Dubois did better against Usyk because he did that body shot. Was Usyk pretended to be a low blow? Dubois probably hits a little bit harder. I mean, all the guys that have sparred both say Dubois hits harder. Joshua's more skilled. He's got more technique. So we got the harder puncher with some more skill guy. I still think Joshua's going to win a decision. I'm cheering for Dubois myself. There's something about Joshua that's always kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But he did do better against Usyk Dubois, but I don't think that's at play here. I still think Joshua's better. He's more refined. I hope Dubois wins because I do not want to see Usyk versus Joshua for a third time. There's no need for that fight. It's going to be a good fight, though. This fight can go either way.
Yeah, but do you want to see Dubois Usyk too?
No, I want Fury to beat Usyk so we can see Fury Usyk 3. That's what I'm saying. But anyways, breaking out this fight, I'm going to go put my bias aside because my bias is for Dubois. I'm going to give it to Joshua. I think he's going to win a split decision. And saying that if Dubois does win the fight, I think he'll catch him and lay him out maybe 8th, 9th round because he hits hard. This is going to be a war, man. These guys, they're getting at each other's face in their little sit-down conversations. They don't like each other, which is good for the fight.
No, it's great. It's great. Okay, so if Dubois wins, I think it's going to be decision. But if Joshua wins, I think it's going to be basically what you said, but I'm just flipping the guys around. I think Joshua gets the knockout. The reason I say that because Joshua's coming off that massive knockout on Francis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Granted, it's Francis and it was what it was. And with all due respect to Francis Ngannou, that's what Tyson Fury should have done.
Yes,
that's
we all thought he was going to do it.
No, that's the way it should have happened, and that's the way it, but it didn't go down, right? So Joshua doing what Fury couldn't, he's got that confidence in him, and I just think we're seeing a different thing. I think the only difference is the path that each guy took. He fought Zhang, he fought Usyk, he fought Joe Joyce or not Joyce, Parker as well, right?
Parker,
right? You look at the guys that he's fought compared to what Joshua's done.
That's what I'm saying. They were giving Joshua easier fights to build him back up.
Otto Bolin, just to name one guy. Nothing against Otto. He really
was it Derek Chisora too? Did he fight him too?
I think he fought Chisora as well, and then there was that American guy that he fought as well.
I know who you mean.
Right? The big boy. So ultimately, you look at who each guy has fought to get here. It's insane to think about.
This is a pretty even fight. The odds makers have a slight favorite for Joshua, but they're giving Dubois a lot of respect. I believe that I heard that 96,000 people are going to be in attendance for this fight. That's an insane crowd if that number is accurate.
I'm telling you, there's a difference. Like, we talk about boxing being a niche sport, but I don't think it's maybe in North America, which it's weird to me to think it's still considered niche.
Well, I'd still say boxing is more popular in North America because when you get Floyd and Manny out there, we still set pay-per-view records, but that's few and far between though.
I get it, but you have to have that kind of name to make it big here in North America. Whereas every weekend they're selling out arenas across Europe and the UK for these fights. Right? I mean, 96,000 in Wembley, it's easy now for them to do. So boxing obviously is bigger in Europe and in the UK, right?
It's more consistent, but when we get a big fight here, we still do it better, but it's more consistent. So Joshua's last 5 fights, Jermaine Franklin, Robert Helenius, Otto Wallin, Francis Ngannou. And then before that, he lost to Usyk twice.
Right. So Franklin, okay, tune-up fight, fine. Otto Helenius ended up testing positive for drugs, and he was already coming off a fight that he did the week before, right?
Yeah.
And then you got Otto Wallin, who looked pretty good, and he cut up Tyson Fury really nicely in his fight. Yeah. But I mean, he had nothing. But this is Joshua getting stronger and stronger. So from every fight, they haven't been the greatest guys, but he's made his way. Where I think Dubois had to go through many wars, man.
He went through Miller. He did Flip Herkovich.
Yeah.
I mean, he only has that one loss.
The only thing I'll say that in him giving up against Joyce. The only thing that troubles me is his heart. He gave up against Usyk.
And Joy Joyce did knock him out, but that was a while ago. The
Yeah.
thing is, Dubois is only 27, Joshua,
No,
35, 36. You got a little bit of youth on his side.
no, he's young, and I don't even think he's in his prime. I think heavyweight guys hit
No.
their prime in their 30s.
Now, we gave our professional opinion. We both say Joshua's going to win.
Yeah.
Who do you want to win the fight?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Joshua.
Yeah, I'm Dubois all the way.
Okay,
that makes it fun, right?
Yeah, but no,
I like Joshua's a good guy. I just prefer Dubois, my sister.
Yeah, no, fair play. I like Joshua just because he just is his energy and everything. And this is going back to 2012 from the Olympics.
He's a good man. He's a great man. Yeah.
Right. Like he's no bullshit. He's logical. He's smart. He had that one outburst at the end of the Usyk fight, but that what,
that's just emotion. That's just
emotion, and that's a guy who's worked so hard that didn't get the result that he was hoping for, knowing what he knew. Right. That just shows you how great Usyk is.
He's the best heavyweight in the world. He proves it.
Right. And of all the guys that we've ever talked about since the inception of our show, that guy's name was never on our lips or on our radar.
Yeah, but he's beat Joshua twice. He beat Dubois. He beat Fury. Like, what else can that man do?
Well, I mean, to be fair, I think he's going to beat. We'll get into it when it gets there, but I think he's going to beat Fury again.
I think actually Fury will stop him. We're going to get a trilogy.
Maybe, but
maybe not. You never know. Who knows?
I'm just not surprised if he does, just the way he is. But like I've said to you before, the thing that scares me right now about Tyson Fury, we have not heard a peep. We've not seen him at any shows. We've not seen him do anything. He is in a state of mind which could be very scary.
He wants this fight more than anything in the world. I'm telling you right now. I'm not saying that he'll get it, but he's going all in.
Being undefeated is great, but fucking you got to lose at least once in your life to become humble and figure out what you're not doing right.
Well, the thing is, if he stops clowning around in between the rounds and just comes animalistic on Usyk and bullies a little man around, look out, Usyk.
He has to fight. He has to fight them like he fought Vasily.
Yeah, even Usyk said that's the hardest I've ever hit in my life in that 6th round. I couldn't believe what hit me. I didn't know where I was, and
he didn't fall
off the gas.
Exactly, he stopped. You don't stop against a guy like that. And the funny thing is, you see all the guys that have fought Usyk. You figure you get the formula. They're giving him too much space. They're respecting him too much. You're fucking 6'8", 300 pounds. Why aren't you laying on him like you did Deontay?
I know.
You didn't do any of that.
Who's way stronger than Usyk?
Well, but that's what I'm saying. You didn't lay that weight on him. You didn't smother him. You gave him the space to work. And when you had him, that thing could have ended in the 6th, 7th round, but he didn't do the job. That's on him.
Yep, absolutely. So his fault.
And the I believe with Usyk, I think the formula on him is if you can get him and you can shake him, you take him out right away. Because if that gets past the 9th round, that guy finds a gear.
Oh, yeah. He gets a second win and goes, man.
And he goes like, okay, I've felt everything you've given me. Now I'm just going to piece you.
Yeah.
Right? So, great fight. Undercard, it's good. The undercard is good.
Fighting for that IBF belt. There's a couple of good fights. Nothing of noteworthy.
But, I mean, I know who these guys are. You know who all these guys are, right?
Mm-hmm.
The card itself is good, but unfortunately, the casual fan is only interested in the one fight where the rest of that card is for the boxing fans, right?
Absolutely.
And because it's in Wembley, there's a lot of British content. So unfortunately, a lot of North American fans aren't up to speed with who's coming out of the London seat, right?
Absolutely.
We're lucky we have the benefit of being able to watch it all. The other thing, guys and gals, this fight will be in the afternoon. So Saturday afternoon, lunch, brunch, or depending if you're on the East Coast, afternoon snack and maybe an early dinner.
Yep.
This is what we're getting. So I'm going to try my best this weekend again to break it down the way we did this last card. I apologize. We're working on new things and new things to do. So as we get better with the format, as we get better with the delivery, these things are just only going to get better. Why are we releasing this stuff the way it is? Because we got to put it out there, right? And I would love to be able to go back in 6 months and look at the very first one that we did that night to what we're doing in 6 months' time. So we're constantly working behind the scenes here, guys and gals, to make the show even better. We're putting more effort into the shorts. We're putting more effort into everything that we're doing. So You've already seen the changes. The numbers are showing such as well. So we're on the right track. We're excited for the future. Shout out to brother Saeed, who's working with us as well. So, big up to him for helping us with all these kind of little details that, what, as good as we are, brother, as good as we are creating and putting it together, there's just some things we need some help with. And I think we got a good guy on our side that's gonna help us with.
Everybody that has a podcast, radio show,
Yeah.
you need people behind the scenes producing, editing, tips, criticisms, critiques. So absolutely.
To be fair, all the editing, this and that's what I love about working with this fella right now is the fact that I'm still doing majority, 99% of the work is what I'm doing. What he's bringing to the table is a lot of critiques and a lot of, analytics that we don't have access to because that's his business.
Which is good though. It's good.
Which is good. So it's great. All right, brother man. Anything went down in the world of boxing or Canadian? Oh, you know what? Sorry, before I get there, shout out to our friend Jay Bayard. First round knockout. Guy still world champion or Canadian heavyweight champion. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see the fight. Couldn't find it anywhere, but he's doing well. Everything is great. So we're going to reach out to him and see what we can accomplish and see to get him back on to talk about it. Also, last thing I want to say very quickly, Abel Ramos, another friend of the show. I've been waiting for a fight. He's finally procured one, and he's procured one on perhaps one of the biggest cards of the year. November 15th, Mario Barrios. Title is on the line, interestingly enough. Another case of a guy coming off of a 2-year layoff right into a title shot. But he's got Barrios on the Tyson and Paul fight.
Jake Paul. Speaking of Tyson, Jake Paul, I don't know if you've seen it. They both came out in Dallas Cowboy jerseys.
I saw that.
With Jerry Jones. They're just good publicity, good hype. And
100%.
These guys don't hate each other. Tyson likes the Paul brothers. He's a big fan of it, but this is a payday. This is money. And he still wants to kill him in the ring, but there's no real animosity here.
No. So anyways, back to it. Boxing history, world and Canadian. What do we have?
Yeah. 2 years ago today, one of my all-time favorite boxers lost the trilogy fight to Canelo Alvarez, a 12-round decision at T-Mobile Arena. Canelo, I thought for sure Triple G won the first two fights. Canelo definitely won this one. Triple G was 40. Yeah. He had a few big shots. He didn't get put down. He didn't get hurt, but you could see he just didn't quite have that fastball anymore. But Triple G, speaking of him, he did say a few weeks ago, I didn't announce my retirement because I am not retired. For the right opportunity, the right fight, I would fight again. So maybe he will, maybe he won't.
You know what I would love to see? And I don't know if this can work or not. I mean, maybe the weight's going to be the issue here. I would love to see Manny and Triple G in an exhibition.
Yeah, they were going to have a fight a while ago, but there's a little bit of weight difference. But yeah, they could do something like that. They make a lot of money.
Yeah, but exhibition, you can flub with these things, right? I mean, you can go up and down, right, with the weights at that point. But I think that would be a fun fight. That's a fight that we never got.
Yeah,
that would have been a good fight. That would have been a good fight indeed. Yeah, and back to that fight, though. I mean, I'll say this. I think the first fight, Triple G got robbed. Right?
Big time.
Right? Second fight could have gone either way, in my opinion. Right? And you can make the argument for either side. But that third fight was definitive. I
know Canelo won that fight. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
I have it 2-1 Triple G. Worst case scenario, 1 win for Triple G, 1 win for Canelo, and you could do a draw. We go 1-1-1.
That's the way I would see it. The first fight, right. Triple G, second fight, draw, third fight, Canelo.
Triple G is one of the few fighters you got. Him and Mayweather, there's a very few fighters who got the iron chin. Triple G never went down and he never got knocked down one time ever, amateurs or pros. That's how tough his chin. Couldn't crack that guy.
Shit, man. Tough as shit. I just saw something on Instagram, one of those clips. It shows Canelo and Triple G playing Rock'em Sock'em boxing game. That was kind of fun.
Okay.
Yeah, nice. Kind of fun. Cool. All right, brother man. Anything in Canadian history?
Nope, there's nothing that happened. We just give a shout out to Jay Bayard for first round knockout.
Come on, Canada. Give us some more memories.
Yeah. I mean, there's obscure stuff that happened like Vancouver at the Coliseum like 1984, but nothing that anybody would be noteworthy of.
All right, brother man. Let's wrap this baby up. Let's call it a day and let's get on with the rest of the week. The weekend is fast approaching, so you know what that means. I'm Bobby Sampson. He's Mr. Chance Michaels.
In the words of the great AC/DC, those that download, like, and subscribe to the podcast, we salute you.
Absolutely. If you guys have made it this far, please hit that like and subscribe button. It means the world to us. I can't say enough about that. But guys and gals, listen, it's the weekend. Here we go again. Now we're getting a little bit colder. So, just be careful out there with the rain, driving. you're gonna drink, if you're gonna smoke, if you're gonna do drugs, do it. Have fun, do your thing, find your limits, just know your boundaries. But most importantly, get home nice and safe, and to your families and everyone that loves you, because that's the most important thing. And last but not least, guys and gals, I say this over and over again, and I feel like I need to, only for the fact that, I want to make sure everyone gets this message. Don't believe the hype of other people shitting on you. Work hard, follow your dreams. Do not let people dictate you. And if anybody doesn't want to be your friend, and if anybody doesn't want to be in your company, look at that as a blessing. They just made life easy for you. You don't have to get rid of those people. Right? Only
Well
be
said.
only be with the people who want to be with you, who respect you, who love you, who want to see the best for you. Okay? And those usually come in the form of our spouses. Right? As boring, as hardcore as they can be, they're the biggest pillar of support that we have. The good ones.
The good ones. Yeah.
I saw a fight last night where the man was walking back with his wife and his head was down. She went out of her way to put his head back up, like walk with your head high, regardless of what happens.
Yeah.
Right? Those women are few and in between, and I like to believe that you and I got one of those each. But we also have to take a lot of the nonsense that comes along with it as well. So this will let us know if our wives are actually listening to the show.
Fair play.
On that note, Bobby Sampson, Chance Michaels, have a great weekend. Enjoy the fights this weekend. It's quiet outside of the Dubois Joshua fight, so there's really not much else going on. So enjoy it, love it, and we will be back on Tuesday. Samp and Chance are out.